Anyway.
Because I have to do it here so I can show you what.
Hereby move that the board authorize the board chair to edit with our attorneys and place in the contract file a letter to the superintendent search consultant pursuant to the general terms and conditions discussed by the board in executive session.
Second.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? Motion carries. Okay. All right, so we are back and we are on to subcommittees. So, Joe.
We're gonna try to get a subcommittee facility meeting sometime next week. We're gonna shoot for maybe possibly Wednesday. So talk about the Great Oak project and so forth.
Good. Shelley?
We're hoping to have a CTC meeting next Monday. We're working on a time. We're gonna invite Rob. So clear your calendar, just kidding. But we're trying to get a time before Stephanie and Lee that the people are available to meet.
That'd be very good. And if I could just interject, that would be a great time to kind of bring Dorothy up to speed on the work that you've been expecting the committee to do or her and the
Yes.
department to do. You can set some goals for this year. On
Yes.
what we need to accomplish.
Wait,
Read our minds.
Our minds.
Expectations.
But yeah, and some things that didn't get accomplished in the past that we want to continue to work for. But I think that, I mean, who am I to say that? I had an email, I think we all did, from Dorothy about, the minutes and all of that.
No,
And
it's
I
just to the
think
committee.
she should talk to Sylvia before the meeting because, most of the last agendas were not what we wanted. And so I think I said to Sylvia, you should write the minutes because you know what you said. And so I think, in my opinion, if I didn't want to answer yet, I think, the best, if you all think it's appropriate, thing for Dorothy to do is to talk to Sylvia, get some of the people working.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, Sylvia is quite busy in what's on her plate. And it's really not her job to now mentor her. I mean, obviously they can talk, but I mean, I just think that she can go back and look, there's some of the minutes are posted and I mean, they're kind of old and,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, that's just my opinion as far as.
I just want her to get the documents and the location of things so that she can, do whatever due diligence she wants. Because you're right, I didn't mean it to sound that way. I don't think she should mentor.
Yeah, and you didn't say mentor, I did. I mean, like I said, I just, whatever, I mean, it's kind of up to Dorothy to search out and find things, and that's not, so she needs to figure it out. And anything, I mean, if you have anything that you can forward to her, then
I'll take
by
it.
all means do it and let her read through it.
Okay.
Hey, Stephanie, can I interrupt for a second?
Pardon me?
Can I interrupt for a second? Is Jackie supposed to be on this call?
No, we're, Deb takes the minutes from now on.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
And thanks, Deb, for doing that.
Sure.
Secretary extraordinaire. And also policy and quality chairman extraordinaire. So, and were you done, Shelley?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off.
Well, I appreciate the information and sharing.
Sure. Sure.
So for policy and quality, we haven't met, we probably have anything new that needs to be looked at.
I think the next step will be, once we have a plan of action and getting policies into board docs, is to brief the policy committee on that work and the stuff needed to finish that project.
Makes sense. So we'll have a meeting that's accomplished. Really.
And Steve, finance?
Yeah, we met 3 weeks ago. We're due work with Rob, get another meeting on the calendar. But the two main things we covered last meeting, the two big things were the impact of the attrition from the end of last year and the rehires at a higher rate, plus the administrative changes impacting the budget line items. Rob came up with a plan to reallocate certain lines of the budget to come to capture a headwind and, fill it. I think the other main thing we talked about was Rob did a great job on coming up with a framework and a methodology and thresholds for how do we move forward with Central Activities Fund and what type of revenue comes in, sources and uses of fund, what comes in, and at what point does a balance reach a certain level, does it need to be dispensed on a certain component of the school district. So those are the two main things that we covered in the last meeting.
Those documents were actually in the packet tonight. Actually, the last packet as well, but when you get to that last.
They were?
They included it.
Oh my gosh, I must have not scrolled down.
There's in the very end of the
Thank you.
packet.
I didn't scroll down. That was just like my husband, just reads the first 3 lines of an email.
That was the bad one.
Okay. And as far as liaison reports, I mean, I'm the Oasis and Rob, talked about that. I was not.
I think you're part of it.
Yes.
One question on
Oh, go ahead.
that.
Sorry.
What do you think the impact of
Of what?
fuel?
I don't have to answer that right now.
Fuel.
I'm sorry, what was
Fuel.
Fuel.
F-U-E-L.
So 30%, so it's got a lot of-
We're all- Go ahead, Joe.
Just ACES, governing body, which is a really important job for each district to have. I've run into a problem, and I may have to pass that to somebody else. We'll see what happens. Last year, because of COVID, it was all remote, and then it was some in person and some remote. I was in communication with Deanne Olson, the administrative assistant, who's terrific. And she indicated there will be no more virtual, and it's at noon on Thursdays once a month. And I don't know that I can get there physically, so I'll probably talk to Donna and, make sure. And if that is their desire that everyone has to be in person, I will have to pass it on to somebody else. So we'll see what happens. But I will say, in short stretches, I did walk 30 feet today with a lot of help. So I hope I won't need a transportation problem forever. So we're good.
And if worse comes to worse, is it possible to just, would we still have access to the minutes of the meeting that we could just kind of keep track of what's going on? And
I think so, because we paid our, what was it, $250 for each district pays a little money for representation. It's a very interesting and important job. So I'll see what happens next.
Yeah, why don't you talk to them and see what they can do to kind of accommodate you? Because, I know I can't do it. I don't know too many people
I think they were
doing it. We've tapped Vic for every
I
possible
know.
committee. He's welcome to do it if you want, Vic. I hear the lunch is good.
I want
So
to
let's
say-
just
Well, you're good, you're good. You're safe, laser focused.
You know what, beyond that, it tells you, so every district, Waterbury, in our area, it is the body that governs ACES. And they run it, but the body has to listen to everything and vote and approve it.
Mhm.
So it's a really important job. I know the past people just talk about the lunch, the kids and everything, but it's an important job, but I will let you know.
Okay, yeah. Good. All right. Any other liaison? Yeah.
On liaisons, we, in the past, have had PTO and district board liaisons, and we haven't really talked about how to manage that moving forward. So whether we talk about it tonight or we just add it to the next agenda, whether or not we're going to continue those positions.
Well, you were PTO. Did you find that it was help? Is that something that you're willing to consider to do? That's
Yeah,
another
I'll
meeting.
continue to do it. I just didn't know whether or not we wanted to continue those.
Well, my opinion would be boost, PTO, yes, and I think, I believe Rob will now be on the executive board for Booster, right? As the admin, high school admin. No. We need to do more, Rob Schulman.
Yes.
So, I think that, and once we talk about, I think Rob can give us an update on Booster Club. Because, quite honestly, the amount of meetings that we have.
One day,
Quite a lot. Who knows?
Whatever. They'll seem to have a set meeting schedule. So,
I mean.
You might
I
find
I
it
think
Friday
quite the
night.
idea of joining the booster club, just so I can
You keep, why don't you?
trust the
Anybody-
I don't see it
verify.
on the Facebook page, the posting when it is. Sometimes it's virtual, sometimes it's in person at the restaurant, at,
Bistro.
bistros, whatever they're calling themselves these days, but, then sometimes they do secret meetings because they don't open it to the public and.
Well, there's a lot of things that have to do.
So-
So Joe, I think I hear from you that you would like to be the liaison to the booster club.
there you go.
All right,
Yeah.
think about it. We would all.
Well, like I said,
No,
if that was to occur, I'm edged against one person being there only because the situation that came across our, I don't know. You know, and I'm a big trust but verify type of guy as far as especially this smoke, there's fire, so.
well, the only good news is, so you do have Rob. Well, right, we'll think about it and we'll talk about it.
We can just talk. I just wanted to bring it back.
No, thank you.
The
And
first
then-
PTO meeting is scheduled for the 21st at 6:30 at the middle school library.
PTO. In
At what
person.
library?
The middle school library is the first, they're going back to in-person meetings and everything across the schools.
We're so excited to be
October
back.
21st, middle school library, first meeting
At 6:30.
at 6:30.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn at 8:49.
Second.
Third.
All those in favor? Aye.